A married couple decided to let themselves relax for the evening and go out on the town to have fun. They called a girl they knew, who had babysat their children more than once. When the girl arrived, the two children were already asleep in their cribs, so she just had to stay home and make sure nothing happened to the children. Soon she got bored and decided to watch TV, but there was no cable downstairs because the parents didn't want the kids to watch any garbage. The girl called her parents and asked permission to watch TV in their room. They naturally agreed, but she had another request. She asked permission to cover the statue of an angel outside the bedroom window with something, or at least close the curtains, because the statue made her nervous for some reason. There was silence on the phone for a second, and then the father, who was talking to the girl, said, "Take the kids and run out of the house. We'll call the police. We don't have any angel statue." The police found all three of them dead 10 minutes after the call was made. The angel statue was never found. In one girl's bedroom there was a closet with a big mirror inside. This girl liked to tickle her nerves, so sometimes she opened the closet at night and looked at her reflection. One day, when she got bored, she did it again. She was surprised at the interesting effect that manifested itself this time. Thanks to the play of light and shadow, this time she was reflected in the mirror as if with empty eye sockets and a huge mouth. The reflection looked very realistic and almost three-dimensional. After admiring this sight for a minute, the girl went to the bathroom. But on the way she remembered something, and it made her turn on the light in the bathroom, lock herself in and wake her parents and half of the neighbors with her scream. It was that a mirror had been removed from the closet the day before. This story was told to me by my neighbor Julia. Several years ago she and her husband Sasha were renting an apartment. One morning, when her husband was at work, she woke up because she felt as if someone was stroking her hair. She got out of bed, looked around, and lay back down, thinking she was mistaken. Not 10 minutes later, she felt someone's touch again. She was so scared that she was afraid to move. After a couple of minutes it was over. A couple of days later, when she was home alone again, something even creepier happened. Julia was lying on her bed, turned to the wall, and dozing. Suddenly she heard someone breathing behind her, and someone's cold fingers touched her neck. Believing that it was her husband back from work, Julia sleepily asked, "Sash, is that you?" From behind me it sounded, "No, don't turn around," as if she had been scalded. Julia ran out of the apartment, squeezing her eyes shut. Later she and her husband found out that before them, there was a young guy who had hanged himself in the bedroom. A couple of weeks ago, a friend of our family, a single mother, bought a new phone. A few days after work, she came home, put her car keys, wallet, and phone on the nightstand, and sat on the couch watching TV. Her 6-year-old son ran up to her and asked for the phone to play with. His mother told him not to delete messages or press unnecessary buttons. The boy agreed and ran off to his room to play. At about 11 p.m., the woman decided to go to bed and went up to her son's room to put him to bed. She found him in her room, where he was asleep on the bed. The phone was on the floor. Picking up the phone, she began to check to see if her son had done anything wrong, but found only a few new pictures that the boy had taken while playing. When the woman reached the last picture she had taken, she was horrified. It showed her son sleeping on the bed, but the picture had been taken by a different person, or was it even a person? I woke up to a heavy sniffling sound. There was a small, faintly discernible figure at my feet in the dark. After my wife left us, my daughter is afraid to sleep alone. She comes to my room and waits for me to wake up and take her in. If I don't wake up, she sniffs loudly. "What's the matter, honey? Are you scared?" I was already reaching out to cuddle her and lay her down next to me, when something clicked in my head, and I remembered that my daughter was staying with her grandmother. I jumped up, turned on the light. The room was empty. Only the gray silhouette of the little girl was melting behind the threshold, where the light of the lamp didn't reach. Two girls, Julia and Oksana, went to a party. At the party, Julia was pretty drunk, while Oksana was relatively sober, as often happens. The sober one had to escort her fun friend home. Opening the door to Julia's apartment, Oksana put her friend to bed. Wishing her a good night, she turned off the light, closed the door, and went to her apartment. After walking a couple of alleys, Oksana suddenly discovered that she had forgotten her purse at Julia's house, which contained the keys to the apartment. When she arrived at Julia's, she decided not to turn on the lights so as not to wake up her friend. Fumbling for her purse, which was lying on a chair in the living room, she left the apartment. The next day, Oksana received a call from the police and was asked to come to the station. At the station, she was shown a couple of pictures. Oksana was horrified to recognize Yulia in the pictures. She was lying on her bed with her throat cut. The police officer showed Oksana a piece of paper that was lying on Julia's bed. On it was written, "Well done for not turning on the light. Otherwise I would have had to kill you too."